You look, does it look gray to you?
Well, it was colorful on the screen.
That's right. The screen is a little off. Okay.
All right, cool.
SINIX.
Robert.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, so we're making a video before the storm. This is the calm before the storm, the day before everything starts to happen. We'll be at Lightbox doing a talk. I will be also having a booth. Not booth. It's a table. For the first time ever.
It's like a booth.
You ever done a convention before?
I have. I have done Anime Expo many a time. That's been fun. It's a good experience. I think tabling's great, personally. I think you'll have a lot of fun.
I remember I promised you that I'd be back here to do Anime Expo, and I never came back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the goal of this podcast is to build hype around our talk.
Oh.
Because...
I should have woken up first.
Well, there's a lot of really good talks happening during our talk, and if I was attending, I would go to the other ones, because they're really good.
I believe every great talk is happening during our talk. There is.
All of them, yeah.
Is Craig Mullins during ours too?
I think it's right after.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's room
204
in Conference Center.
Yes, at 2:30 on Friday.
2:30 Friday. And the title is A Happy Mind for the Creative Journey with me and SINIX.
Yeah.
Like the effects of all the stuff and how to try to go on the art journey and tackle the things that we're still tackling and all that stuff.
But it will be in a fun and
silly
way. It won't just be doom and gloom.
No.
It's going to be a lot of fun stuff.
Well, we should make it monotone, boring. Hi, welcome to
welcome to modern healthcare for the artist.
No.
All right. We're going to talk about communities and having fun and just how to have the best experience as an artist.
That's right. Well worded. We'll be talking about how social media fits into that, how to deal with things and have a better outcome, whether it's through fitness, making connections with other artists and all that stuff. Also, since it is my first time tabling, I've never really done prints or sold prints or done anything. I do have pins that I made of my logo. If you want to hold that up?
Yeah, for sure. I'll leave the plastic.
Because
I don't want to get any fingerprints on it. My hands are very dirty.
I
forgot it. I turned off autofocus, which was in hindsight that was a bad decision.
All right.
It's beautiful. It's 14 karat gold.
No, it's not. Yeah. So I will have these pins.
Normally $49.99. Right now, if you call in. For your one-time offer,
$39.99. I don't have all the prints here in this room, but there's some these postcard-sized prints. It's my first time doing that. A bunch of different other paintings as well. So yeah, it's going to be a big empty black table with a black cloth on it, with a small pile of postcards and pins, and I'll just be drawing in my sketchbook the whole time.
I can let you borrow a plant, maybe. I don't know. Spray, spice it up.
What did you do at Anime Expo? Did you sell stuff?
Well, for the record, yes, I've always sold some prints. I'm not really a print-focused person, so it's mainly just I just like to talk to people. Usually they're not there to see me. Oftentimes I was sharing a table with Ross and Jet.
The cooler people.
The people who actually make stuff that's really good for Anime Expo.
Yeah.
So usually I just entertain people. I'm like a little jester. Clowning with people while they're waiting in a line of 20 people to talk to Ross.
Did you want to sit at my table at all? I would love a gesture.
On your table, hopefully.
Okay, what else did I write? Yeah. So that will be table 518. That's where I'm sitting. It's really close to, actually, Eliza. She's really awesome. She's two tables down.
Nice.
It'll be right in front of the Procreate box area booth, because they actually sponsored my table, so that's really cool. I should probably be using Procreate at my table. I'll be doing that. Feel free to come by, to talk.
Yeah.
A
common thing that people they're afraid to go to a table if they're not buying something.
Don't
worry about that.
Honestly, I don't even like selling stuff. It's just because I should have something that you can walk away with. And it costed money to print everything out and get the pins made. So, but yeah, I was going to ask you what you're looking forward to most about Lightbox, but I want to jump in real quick and answer that question for myself first.
Oh, okay.
Because it's linked to that. There's a lot of cool artists going, that are doing talks and panels, but I just want to see the people, all the the people who are commenting on the stuff, and it sounds cheesy because like I want to see all the fans, but really it's just I want to see faces because all I see is text. And sure, I've done meetups and met with people and from my Discord and all that stuff, but yeah, real life people. That'll be nice.
That's good. Yes, don't be one of those people, because after every convention, there's always a person like, I saw you, but you look busy, so I didn't say hi. Like, because there's always this. Don't be afraid.
Well, if I look busy, if I look busy, leave me alone. Just don't come near me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, don't leave him alone. No. Always come up. Be willing to talk to people and come up to people. It's usually can work out fine. It'll usually be a good time. So don't live in a world of regret.
So, what are you looking forward to?
Similarly, I'm looking I feel like I'm going there more as fanboy. I don't want to I'm sure there are people that like me and want to meet me. I don't know. That always seems weird to me. But I'm a fanboy, so I want to be the creepy one who's like, should I go up to them? They look busy. They look busy. I don't know.
The turns have tabled.
Yes, the turns are very tabled.
Are there any specific artists that you want to meet?
I can't even list them all because there's so many.
Literally all of them are there.
Everyone I've ever admired is there. There's a lot of people that I've just followed for a long time. Even some people that I haven't seen since like the concept art workshop like 12 years ago. All those like Wesley Burt and people like that who I'm still just a giant fan of. Just like you go into my old videos and I list like my top 10 influences, like pretty much like most of them are there. Yeah.
I would have sent. Maybe 5 years ago or so, I would have been super excited to meet like Ian McKeag, obviously amazing artist, amazing personality. Craig Mullins, huge influence on me and many people. But I've met them already, so it's like, all right, well, that's of course I can't wait to meet them again or see their talks and stuff. But then all the other artists, like you got me into LightBox because you messaged Bobby Chu and you're like, hey, don't forget about Med, and I'm like, wow, thanks. That's really cool. But you also got other people like TV Choi. I got TV Choi. Can't wait to meet her.
Talked her into it, which is great. She's such a fun personality.
Who else did you get involved?
That's. I didn't want to push my luck. I don't know. I was like considering, like, hey, Bobby. But I was like, okay, I've already done that twice. Like, message him, being like, have you thought about this person? Have you thought about this person?
And he's dealing with a lot of things. And so,
I'm very hopeful, though. He seems like he's handling it well. I saw the pictures. This is, by the way, we're filming this 2 days before. So I got the pictures out, the giant LightBox letters in front of the convention center. Just, it looks like it's coming together, which is great, because that's a big worry. You always see new conventions, and it'll be like a mass of people outside, like, our tickets don't work, and like all this stuff. And like, but I think Bobby and the people running it are going to do a great job. So,
and it's in Pasadena. It's lovely there. I used to live there.
It's very hot.
It is kind of hot.
Stay inside. There's plenty of stuff to see inside.
Yeah. Well, if it's too hot, there's also right next door, 20, 30 feet away from the convention center, an ice skating rink. So we can go ice skating. That'll be fun.
I have weak ankles. Weak joints in general. I can't even...
I still have that video of you trying to roller skate when we went that one time.
What you mean you saw the video? You mean the one you took and posted yourself?
Did I post it?
Yes.
Oh, what did I post it?
At the end of one of your videos or something.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I still have it, I guess. Technically, now everyone has it. Anyway, Pasadena's really nice. I just got here to California from the Midwest, which is...
Yes, how was the trip?
It was awesome. It was like... We didn't do just a straight drive, kind of snaked around, went to different places, went down to Texas first from Ohio. From there, we spent a lot of time in Arizona because it's amazing there. Have you been?
I have been. No, I guess I haven't. I've been a little bit around it, but not necessarily taken the time.
Yeah, we went to the Grand Canyon stuff, Horseshoe Bend. Freaking Sedona, Arizona, Page, Arizona, and each area is completely different landscape. Some are just red rock, some are
it's the colors green. That blow you away the most.
Yeah. So that was really fun. We got to swim, kayak, jump in lakes, jump off of cliffs into lakes. That was really cool. Yeah.
It's too bad you're not a plein air painter, right?
We did some plein air painting.
What?
Digital.
I guess that counts.
Yeah, we brought our iPads and we're painting up in there. And I realized, because I just did a couple, and it's that feeling when you start something and then you realize, oh crap, in order to be good at this, you got to do like 100 or 200 of these before it starts to click. Because life drawing, sure, we've done plenty of that, but painting, plein air, you have to develop your own process, whether it's based on other people's input, but of how to, block in the composition, what to look for, what to ignore, that kind of stuff.
It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle.
It is a puzzle.
Solved.
Yeah. Yeah. What's really cool about Lightbox is they've done, not specifically Lightbox Expo, but there have been things like this elsewhere. The Trojan horse was a unicorn is the name of it. I never went to that because it was in Portugal, right?
Yes, far away. It seemed very expensive to actually do that.
So this is the first time something like this is happening here that I know of, with so many illustrators, concept artists, just artists in general, all in one place. Man, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So, what's cool about that is, which you were talking about yesterday, is the whole opportunity for building connections, whether it's on a big scale of trying to getting a foot in the door at a company, whether it's showing a portfolio or just meeting other artists who are in the same place.
I feel like that's the best part.
Yeah. Meeting other artists who are struggling with you, trying to get good, and you're excited together. It's like you're going to war together kind of thing, and surviving and getting something out of it, whether it's learning how to do something or you've unlocked some kind of inspiration that you want to just put on paper. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, takes me back to the concept art workshop days, which is the only last time I went to something of a similar nature.
Yeah.
And the inspiration I rode to really get from a starting artist to a decent artist is all there. And all the connections, too. It was like the time to just have fun, meet people, learn to socialize as an artist, do all that stuff. I don't know what it'll be like in Pasadena, but I will say, I remember just one of the most fun parts was just staying up in the hotels after all the panels and stuff, and just with like a bunch of artists. It's like a constant sketch group and just having fun.
That's the opposite of what I wanted to.
Well,
because if I'm around too many people for too long, I'm like, get away from me.
I'm getting a little old to be staying up late doing sketch group stuff. But when I was like young and stuff, like that was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I guess what you're describing is what I got to experience at art school.
Exactly.
I loved it. Yeah. But now, you're right. We're like we're old people. We're 45 and up. I'm not 45. You're 45?
Almost.
Really? Wait, how old are you? I actually don't know. I just assume you're around my age.
Leave it in the comments below.
Let's take a guess, and whoever gets it right gets a free pin. That's not true. I won't give away a free pin.
He just doesn't give away anything.
Yeah.
I had to pay for this.
I didn't. I gave that to you. Anyway, so having said that, what else am I doing? Balancing with other things all at the same time because I'm finishing up my Patreon content. I'm also teaching at CCS, which is in Detroit. I have to kind of figure out the class schedule for that and handle that. Also, we have, but wait, it's not public, that battle thing tomorrow?
I'm sure they'll post some things. I would assume they'll record some things from it.
I'm fighting 1v1 to the death with Anthony Jones tomorrow.
It's gonna be intense.
Yeah, I think he's stronger than I am, so he's gonna. But I'm pretty quick, so I'll be able to. I don't know. I'm calling you out, Anthony Jones.
I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a bloodbath. I'm just gonna sit back and.
He was the world champion at the Limits Art Battle this year. I was the champion last year, so we're gonna do a little mock fun battle tomorrow. He versus I. So. That'll be fun. I've never met him before. He seems like a really nice, cool guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He's super nice, seeming. So
he's a great guy.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of great things.
He's gonna wipe the floor with you, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see about that. And
See, he keeps saying like, "Oh, it's just gonna be a friendly thing." I can tell he wants to win.
does he?
No, you both of you.
I don't.
I think you guys want to win.
Well, the reason
He wants to win.
No, the reason I won the championship 2 years ago.
It's because he wasn't there.
Sure, that, and also I didn't care about winning. It's like I was relaxed and I was like okay with whatever happened, because the fact that they sent me out to Japan to battle was a reward in itself. I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with this. Whatever happens, happens. And being relaxed in that state kind of just let me access the flow, and I accidentally won. So, but yeah, so it'll be fun to battle him. I haven't painted like that in a while, so we'll see how that goes.
He's been practicing nonstop all week.
I only have my sketch. Well,
I'm kidding. Maybe.
Do you know if it's going to be on iPads or what's the deal?
I would assume so. That's how they've pretty much only done it for the past year.
Okay. Right on. I do want to talk about and mention. Well, by the way, you have a great setup here. You got these lights, you got the table, you got the camera, you got this really cool thing.
Oh, by the way, this tree. Going back to conventions, I brought this tree to every convention we went to at Anime Expo.
What? How?
Yeah, right? It seems silly. It's a fake tree. I cut it in half. It's like collapsed. I can take it apart, but it adds the ambiance that you need at an anime expo to class up the joint.
Do you want to let me borrow that tree or what?
I'm not trying to take that tree out of here. I'll give you a little plant. You don't get the tree. The tree is a legend. This has been with our booths.
Can
if
you
you've
guys
ever
believe
been to
this
the
guy?
anime expo, you've met this tree.
Claims to be my friend and won't let me take the tree.
It's a big tree.
Yeah, but the reason I bring that up is it's like next level. And then last night and on my road trip, we were listening to the Draftsman podcast with Stan Prokopenko and Marshall Vandroff. Mm-hmm. Very good podcast. I really like it. And it sort of inspired me to want to revamp what I'm doing with my channel, whether it's kind of just starting fresh with the podcast and getting rid of MEDCAST and just having a new thing, because really it's so cool to have it the way he has it. So
yeah, that's cool stuff. It's a good podcast.
It is. I do want to meet Marshall Vandroff.
He's a great guy. Yeah, I'm sure you'll run into him. He's going to be there, right? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, he's everywhere. If you live in Southern California, I'm sure you've met him. That's right. But you did live here. But he's taught at basically every school. He's gone to almost every company. The Blizzard, Obsidian. Just travels. He's everywhere teaching stuff. He loves it. He just loves teaching. Loves talking about art.
I can tell. Yeah.
I like that. I feel like that's my journey. That's my future. That's where I'm going.
You'll be the Marshall Vandroff.
I will be the Marshall Vandroff in another.
Well, you kind of have to be nice to do that, though.
Oh. I guess.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, but he talks about the cool concepts of art parents and the art journey and how to do things. Very cool. And it made me realize that I do want an art mentor. It's like I haven't had one.
Oh, are you asking me out?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
No, I'm saying it would be cool.
I've been waiting for this for the past 3 years. You to just say the words.
Anyway,
please mentor me.
I would be honored if you were my mentor. No, Marshall Vandroff. That would be a really cool mentorship with him. I have so much to learn. And that's another thing I'm looking forward to. I felt resistance going to something like LightBox in the past because of actually something he talked about, the types of different artists who never become masters, and he was referring to a book called Mastery, and one of them is called The Hacker, which is like somebody who gets good at something but peaks and stops, and it's the equivalent of somebody getting good but camping out. And then the reason I thought that was kind of similar to me is because one of the attributes of that kind of person is they tend to feel uncomfortable around other people who are better than them. And so I was thinking about it on the road trip, I've noticed that I would avoid being in scenarios where I'd be around other really popular or skilled, accomplished artists that have done art books and done all these things because it made me feel inferior. So like,
I'm starting to get a little offended by all this.
You count because I feel like we're like on a similar thing, and
that's good.
I'm not implying that you're not accomplished. Like that's not what I'm saying. But I realized like, I've always felt a resistance to that. So I had to be sort of honest with myself. Okay, look, I don't want to just be stagnating, and I want to get better. So the idea of an art mentor or guides, and if you want to be my art mentor, I'm willing. Of course. I'd love to learn from you.
Yeah, I got nothing to offer.
You got plenty of offer. I don't know how to do.
No, I feel like I honestly study your work way too often these days.
Nothing.
I'm constantly.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. No, You keep leveling up very fast. I have to say.
I don't see it. I mean,
I see it though. You got to trust my judgment. I've been seeing a lot of improvements, a lot of progress.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's something I look forward to, is forcing myself to be around a bunch of, all at the same time, good artists who are incredible, and forcing my ego to be like, look, they're good, they're really good, be okay with it. I'm going through a lot of weird things in my head.
It's kind of it. I feel like I will never grow out of just fanboy or just being a fan. So the thought, like, I've never experienced that kind of feeling of anything except just like, I just want to go see the good art from the good people and go be around them.
See, because of my pride and ego, I never let myself admit that there's really good artists, unless they were like the Craig Mullins or the Ian McKeggs. It's like, okay, I'm okay with them being better than me, but anyone else, no. And so I would just avoid. Yeah, it was weird. I was writing about it the other day, and
because I like to pick. I feel like everyone has got like something to offer that I don't have to offer. So it's like there's always every artist I can be like, the way you do, hair, or the way you draw, like this particular type of triangle. It's just like everyone. Like I admire people like a Nurjan Bekliev, which the way you make that flow, or like a Jaw Cooper, the way you make this flow in these animal legs. It's like everyone's got something so admirable to me where I'm just like in awe by like every artist.
And so it was like my ego has prevented me from seeing what you're talking about, because if I were to acknowledge those things, it would imply that I don't know those things, and then that kind of, I guess, desire to want to be the best and to be known as the best gets in the way, and I'm like, that's got to stop. Yeah, you
can't be the best at everything.
Right,
you gotta be the best at yourself.
Right.
No, you can't. You literally can't.
Of course. So that's what I'm personally looking forward to in terms of personal growth, because I know I'm behind, and I'm willing to accept that. In terms of what I would define as success in my mind, of what I want to be, and I've always wanted to get there, but I think I've held myself back because of the things I just talked about.
I feel like you're reaching this. You're like, I don't know. You're getting really. I feel like once you start putting art books, things like that. Like that's like the next step to like look at my collection, like pushing yourself to make those and doing those finished things. But as it stands,
now that you mention it, we're shooting for October 1st to launch the Kickstarter for the art book.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to be at LightBox, right?
Yeah. But I think all the mental issues and stuff held me back, and then undoing them, I feel far more free to do these things, like be open with my art and just doing what I really want to do. Because I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, where if you're going to put stuff out there, there's a part of us that yearns and wants people to like it. And for me, that was amplified in such a way that my inner critic would yell at everything I drew because it didn't align with what I would expect people to like. And having addressed that, freed up a lot of just, I guess, pure expression, whatever that might be. And that's what I want the art book to be, rather than that part of me that wants to be accepted, but rather, hey, this is just it. So yeah,
no, you're ready. You're ready for art book time. That's how I feel. When I look at your work, I'm like, this dude is ready for art book. Like, that's what it feels like. I look at people's work and I'll be like, oh, they still got this thing going. They're still kind of figuring this thing out. When I look at your work, honestly, these days, I'm just like, ready for an art book. I'm ready to buy it. I'm ready to see it. It's that.
Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's honestly,
I'm
genuinely
touched.
feel that way.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, try convincing my inner critic about that. Well, this is stuff we'll be talking about at our panel, because like going through it and talking about it at the same time is, I think, helpful, because if I was earlier on and in the audience and somebody else is going through something like that, it would have helped me a lot. On how to navigate certain things, and it's okay to feel certain things. It's okay to not be perfect, and things like, you know, this natural need for external validation and acknowledgement from other people. Don't be ashamed of that. Just accept it and try to address why you feel those things. And there's so many things that just I wish I was taught along the way, and I feel like some people just have that understanding naturally because of their upbringing, but unfortunately I don't.
Yeah,
so
it can be a familial thing and everything.
Yeah.
You want to give a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about? Do you have like the?
I have ideas,
like a quick, just a little summation rundown.
Right. So as
topics.
I mentioned, I don't want it to be like just, hey, we're going to be talking about health and call this number if you need help. Like, sure, like that's important, but rather I do want to try to get a feel for how the crowd is, in a way, and
the three people that couldn't get into the other panels. Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you three.
Yeah.
But yeah, so mental health, but not. I want to outline it in such a way that there's a good takeaway, and then perhaps at the end or somewhere in the middle, we have an opportunity for Q&A. But things like social media, how that impacts the way you do your work and how you get out there, how to get known. You know, especially with the pressures of trying to get a job and trying to be good enough for a job, and there's a lot of legitimacy to that, and then how that affects your mental health if your emotions and mental state are unchecked, because there are so many things that are probably holding you back that if you were to just address them, you'll be a little bit more free to move forward, and just a lighter weight, you know. And then the more you chip away at that, whether it's through therapy or you know, writing it out, journaling, or letting it show through your art, and you know, letting it diminish that way. So that's kind of like the overall thing, but also open to questions about industry and portfolio, even though a lot of these questions are asked and answered over and over again, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Also, just enjoying art process. That's important to me. I want to get into that.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, okay.
So how do you enjoy the art process?
That kind of gets into a bunch of topics. Like, I've found ways to enjoy it just by, you know, well, you found ways to enjoy it more too. But just, it's a lot of, you know, letting it be a little bit of a looser process, where, you know, the discovery of the, you know, like where you're taking things. Yeah. If it feels like you're only trying to get to this path and you're just trying to figure out what's my straight line to get there, I find that line, walking that line to your finished product, it feels like a chore. It's not an adventure. It's a path that's straight,
it's forced.
And it feels like, it's very uncomfortable. Well, it's not uncomfortable, but it's boring, and it's tedious, and there's no adventures along the way. If you're like, okay, I want to go something out there. I hear there's something cool out there. I don't even know where exactly, but I'm just gonna, like, that looks fun. I'm gonna walk over to that tree. Oh, look, there's a little river here. I'm gonna follow the river, and it's just this pathway of enjoying that and remembering what it was like to draw when you were a kid, where I watched my niece and nephew sit down with a piece of paper. Yeah. It's not like, what am I going to draw? It's just, I'm making things, and then, like, the story's like, and this is going to be a robot, and the robot has a toothache, and then, you know, it's just like, it's
toothache?
Not, it's, yeah, exactly, it's not, it's just illogical, it's not planned out, there's not a destination, it's the journey, it's just making things, moving the arm around, seeing a shape, seeing all that stuff.
Until the inner critic kicks in when they get older. It's like, well, you have to be accepted by the world.
That's why we're talking about it. Because it's about, a lot of people got away from that. It became all about product. We want to bring it back to
the process. Over the product. Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain... It's like the whole Peter Pan story, you know. You've seen Hook, right? Mm-hmm. One of the best movies. I love it.
It's a great movie.
But the idea of... I guess that's a spoiler, but Peter Pan... or Robin Williams.
What?
Yeah, Peter Pan's in the movie. Robin Williams is an adult. He's a lawyer. He's rigid and like everything's structured. And he has 2 kids and he has to get everything on schedule. And he's angry and upset about everything. And then his kids get kidnapped by Captain Hook from Neverland. And then friggin' what's his name? Peter Panning forgot that he was Peter Pan. Yeah. And then so he had to go into Neverland and rescue them, but he couldn't because he forgot that he was Peter Pan. He couldn't fly to, rescue his kids, and he was a terrified soul, and he wanted to pay Captain Hook off with a check. He's like, okay, how much? But he couldn't rescue his kids until he found his own inner child again, to be free, to be flying and happy and just being expressive. And I think that's a really good, I guess, template to scale over to the art process, which is, just being a kid and scribbling, but you could do it with technique now that you've learned things. But the whole no, it's got to be rigid, it's got to be on time, it has to be within this box, and that just kills the fun of the art process. Yeah.
And at least in my opinion, a lot of people are gonna think like that. Oh, if you aren't focused on the end goal, you're not going to make good stuff. But personally, in my experience, I find that every piece I like the most is the one that wasn't forced to get there.
It's difficult to say because it depends on people's circumstances. Some people are just genuinely are trying to get work just to pay for things.
That's true.
And so it depends on the situation. But I guess once you've hit a certain point, I guess what we're referring to is when you're at a place where you're not worrying about all that as much, how do you enjoy art again? It would be great if you're trying to get a job and you happen to do this thing that you enjoy and then you get paid for that versus, oh, I love doing this thing, but they want armor renders, so I guess I'll do that because that's what will get me money. That's understandable too. So it's definitely circumstantial.
Yeah, but should
we save this for the talk?
Sure. We don't have to get that into it.
Yeah. Well, say what you want to say. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, generally, when you're doing stuff with happiness, that's the stuff that other people connect with, and you'll be like, I want to, pay you for some stuff and do this because your stuff just invokes some sense of, whimsy or fun or.
Yeah, it's like music. If basically a musician or an artist, singer, guitarist, whatever. They feel a feeling, and then they communicate that feeling through the music, and then you feel that, and then you're like, wow, I love this song, it makes me feel that feeling. But if it was, all right, if I play these notes in that order, and then I do this slide across the neck of the guitar, then people will like it. Some might, but it's missing the feeling because it's such a mechanical production, and it doesn't do that whole thing where you're saying, I felt this thing, I'm going to take you and make you feel this thing too. Isn't it awesome? So yeah, you're right. Being happy, but it's not always happy because maybe you're... Huh?
No. It kind of touches on another aspect, which is a whole nother topic.
Oh, right.
But I have a lot of theories about other fundamentals of art, I call them the hidden fundamentals of art, which include tempo and things like that of that sort. Rhythm, tempo, intuition. I consider tempo...
That's all here, I guess, right?
Tempo is the most important art fundamental that is completely overlooked.
Describe tempo for the audience, because I already know what you're talking about.
Tempo refers to...
I know what it means in music.
The energy and pacing at which you even just make simple lines. Line making with different emotions and energy. But there needs to be... if you watch, great artists work, there's a lot of tempo. They're like in So it's knowing when to go fast, knowing when to slow down. I learned this. At least I always thought this, but all my suspicions were confirmed through going to life drawing for week after week for years. Because I watch people when I'll always ask them, how did the drawings going today? And they'll be like, not so great. Or they'll be like, you know what, I'm really, like, they're going great today. And it's always, they're either rushing or they're dragging.
What's wrong with Russians?
So they're either going faster and they're just not in their tempo. Everyone's got different, like, intuitive state of how you should be making lines. And there's a lot of it that is not really talked about, but I consider it like one of the most important, like, fundamental cores of, like, really good art in general is having that right mindset and that right tempo in drawing.
So in a way, if we compare this to music again, if your heart's beating really, really fast and you're like, you know, in the zone for something like that, but you're trying to listen to a slow, calm, classical piece versus having a very slow heart rate and you're calm and you're at a mosh pit for, like, metal, it doesn't match. So I guess it depends on whatever your, I think this is what you're saying, whatever's going on in here, let that guide what happens out here.
A little bit, but it's just a matter of, you know.
Now,
if you're moving at a pace that works for you, the most important part about it is that your intuition is more interactive with what you're drawing, which means things will just look better.
Makes sense.
It's all about this is more, it applies to illustration. You can muscle through very mechanically stiff illustrations. For me, as someone who loves design more than anything, this is the key to good design. The key to good creation of shapes, compiling shapes, making unique designs. I think in order to be a good designer and make, like, good thumbnails, you need to have good tempo.
Makes sense. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. It's brilliant.
Are
you a genius?
The hidden fundamentals of art. Don't worry, it'll be taught in every art school in 10 years.
If there are art schools in 10 years, I mean, with YouTube and do you plan on making, like, a video covering all this? Do you still have a YouTube channel?
I do. I don't post on it. No, I plan to talk about all that stuff eventually. I can't. It's one of those things where it's like every few weeks I think of something new that I, you know, like a better kind of solution to it.
Yeah.
So it's like I never make a video about it because it's just kind of this ball that's
amorphous kind of.
Yeah, but I should at least start. I should at least make one, and then, like, in a year I could always make be like, okay, here's version 2. This one's a better take on it.
You know what I find that helps with big ideas like that, whether I'm writing it on my sketchbook or in my sketchbook, I bought this big roll of butcher paper and I put it on my wall, and I just, when I have an idea, I just start it and let it grow into the thing so I can step back and see how things connect, and I could block things out and group them and clump them together. So that would be one suggestion, to kind of have it all out so you know how to do it in chunks, and, you know, maybe.
Yeah. It's a lot of art is infinitely a fun topic. I could just, you know, think about and talk about art. It's a great thing. That's why it's important that people are enjoying it and, you know, having that happy mindset, because it's so much fun.
For me, I didn't enjoy it for the longest time. I guess in the last decade, a little bit longer than that too. I mean, sometimes I definitely get in the zone and I'm painting or drawing, and it's fine, it's great. But then it wasn't entirely just the inner critic that got in the way, but rather I wouldn't let myself enjoy it, because in order to enjoy something truly, you kind of have to allow your soul to breathe onto the paper, whatever that is. And there was a part of me that resisted, because I wanted to hide that from the world, because I guess as a kid, whenever I would be open with my art or whatever, I'd get, like, shot down somehow. So in a way, it's like I'm protecting the true me, the best art that I can do. I'll keep that here. Here, you have the cliche stuff. I'll do what you think looks good, that kind of thing, just to stave off the dragons and forever hoard what this could be. And even now, the inner critic is saying, "Yeah, you think you've got something better than what you don't have any potential." It's crazy. But yeah, I think there's so much that I've kind of stuffed away, and I know if I just let myself do that, it'll be enjoyable, and I know that will happen. So, thanks to life and experiences and friends, like. I don't know if you're a friend. What are we, like, acquaintances?
Lovers?
No, get away from me! Get away!
Kidding.
Yeah. We're, thanks to friends and experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think people get a lot of, well, as we mentioned, or as I like to mention a lot, vulnerability goes a long way. And we'll talk about it more in anything, but community building relies heavily on vulnerability. So.
And you also still have to be careful, because every once in a while there's like the people who drag everything down, and you gotta be in control. And they talked about this in the last podcast for the Draftsman, the Stan Prokopenko and Marshall Vandruff, not the most recent one, but the one before that. How if you're trying to build a community and you live in a place and it's in the middle of nowhere, and like you don't have any art friends, but taking the lead and making something happen, whether it's meeting up at a coffee shop every Saturday to sketch, and you do it on meetup.com or something. Of course, if you live in a dangerous area, that's on you. I don't know. But the idea is, like, don't be afraid to take the lead and be that person who kind of just gets things done.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway, what are we at? 42 minutes. Do you have anything?
Do you got a thing?
Oh my God.
You got a thing to share? I got a thing to share. You want to talk about your...
They don't watch my stuff anyway, so we could... Okay. Yeah, what's your thing? We can't do this. We can't just steal that.
Have you heard of a book called 3x?
Oh my God! Yes! Okay.
We're not going to spoil it, but heavy recommendation from you, and I am loving it so far, so... If you're looking for a good book to read, Three Body Problem.
Let me just freak out for a minute, because your wife has read it before. She
read it she read it 10 years ago, or like a long time ago, whenever it first came out.
She read it in Chinese, which is really cool. And I was asking her a bunch of questions the other day. I was like, "What does this mean? What is that?" Science fiction. I would consider it hard sci-fi. I think, because it's.
I think it's called hard. That's called hard sci-fi, right? When it's more based on like real science.
Yeah.
At least talking in real science terms.
Right, because normally the stuff that I would listen to is science fiction, but more like military sci-fi, like Ember War, Frontlines, and it's all voiced by Luke Daniels, great performer. And I do mostly audiobooks. I read actual books here and there, but Three Body Problem is a great hard sci-fi. It's three books. It's a trilogy. Three Body Problem, Dark Forest, and Death's End. It's I think the official title for the whole thing is A Remembrance of Earth's Past. But I've gone through it twice. If you're interested in sci-fi and getting your mind blown, it's a bit of a slow pace at first, but once you get into it,
I'm enjoying it. I like slow paced things.
So I know. But no, it's pretty enjoyable. It feels like a out of this world experience, literally and figuratively. I don't want to spoil anything.
Don't spoil anything. Yeah. Just say it's great and tell people to go read it.
It's by a Chinese author. I guess he wrote it a long time ago, and it wasn't so popular in China. And your wife was telling me this until like it got picked up, and then it became famous everywhere. Won the Hugo Award. I think even President Obama at the time, when he was president, I read it, recommended it.
Oh, well, now I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, Obama. Oh, God, let's not get into politics
on the channel. It's a joke.
Yeah. I'll cut that part out.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that, and I love your excitement about it. It just makes me want to like read more and more.
Yeah, my brother's on book 2, and some people from my Discord, on my Patreon Discord, because I don't have a public one. Maybe I should make a public one. But they're starting to read it too. Getting into it.
Yeah, I think my dad wants to. He read it years ago because, I think maybe because Joyce, she recommended it to everyone, my wife, and then I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have good taste. And now now every time she sees me reading it, she's just like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I can't even say the author's name, but it's Cixinliu. So I guess phonetically, if we read that Cixinliu, but it's not how you say it. It's like
I don't want to try it. But you can, if you look up three body problem, it's not that hard.
If you're Chinese,
I don't think there's anything else with a similar name. So
what's really cool is if you're Chinese and you can read in Chinese, then that's a plus because the book is much shorter for you because it's a very efficient language to communicate in, and us Americans.
No, they just edited out all the interesting ideas.
Oh right. Oh god.
Cultural revolution.
And yeah, we're Americans, so we're the only people who speak English, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That one's for you, Robbie. Different Rob. You're Rob, but there's a different Rob. He's from
Robbie.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Do you have a? Was that your thing or was that my thing?
You took my thing.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're taking Stan's thing of
That's
putting
true.
his thing. I should. This is going.
By the way, I start teaching at LCAD tomorrow, so that's exciting. It's a very busy week. I've been teaching there for a few years, though. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy teaching there so much. I just want to say,
That's
anyone goes
awesome.
to LCAD, say hello.
You should teach at Art Center as well.
I'm good. You know?
Okay, all right.
I'm happy. I love the
That's
vibe.
great.
It's right next to the beach. It's chill. It's happy. It's
So
friendly.
I want to try to join you tomorrow for that class. That would be cool, but it depends on where I am with the stuff I have to do.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have you though.
Yeah, it would be.
Good time.
I want to see how you teach. It'll be great.
Oh yeah.
I've been to your classes before.
You did, yeah. You came,
Yeah.
but that was the last week one where it was just routine. But they were so happy when you were there.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they looked like
No, they were excited.
They were deadpan, man.
I'm chopped liver, and they're like, "Who's this? This guy's a professional."
come on.
It was so much fun. Hopefully you'll be there. I guess you'll know if you're a student.
Right.
He'll either be there by the time you watch this or you won't.
Wrapping it up, we are in LA. I don't know how long I'll be here for, but we may or may not do some meetups. Just one actually. Would you be down to go to meetup? If
I am
host
always
one?
down to
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so follow us and pay attention if we post something about that.
And come to the Lightbox.
Come to Lightbox, yeah. Check it. Go to every table. Talk to every artist.
Make friends.
Make friends. Talk to other artists and that are like you. It'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you'll probably be crying the whole time because of your horrible loss to AJ
Tomorrow
night. But
all right, Anthony, I'm coming for you.
yes, it's gonna be good.
His paintings for the battle in Japan were pretty awesome.
They were.
I'm
He did some
like-
awesome stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, this is great.
Some animations and stuff.
You animated some of them. I don't know how to animate on the iPad or phone. I'm not an animator. Anyway, cool. Yeah, thanks for watching this impromptu podcast with my good friend Robert SINIX. That's your last name, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me. And thanks for letting me use your studio. This is great.
This is great.
Cool. Have a good one, and I really do hope to see a lot of you at the convention, and don't be afraid to come say hi. I will bite, but not that hard. What?
No, I'm just like we're leaning in, like time to stop it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Did you want to press the stop button?
Yeah,
I could do
how
it.
Dare
Dude, let
you?
me do
Do
it.
you even know what this program is?
What is that? OBS?
Yeah, I don't think you understand it. I'm a computer person. Anyway,
Right. Later.
bye everyone.